There's hundreds of videos on YouTube on how to tint your taillights the cheap and fast way. This is not one of those videos. Today, we're going to show you the best way to tint your taillights so they'll last
forever. 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 Forever.
Look, you can't be a butcher on every car that you touch. In all seriousness, there's a time and a place for the cheap and fast methods. But this is for the people who want a high quality job that has long-lasting results and something they can give a lifetime guarantee on. That's what we're going to cover today. Step one is always going to be remove the taillights from the vehicle. You don't want to be a hack and leave the taillights in and mask the entire vehicle. That's wrong on so many different levels that I really don't want to get into in this video. But pull the taillights out, wash them with some soap and water. That's the first couple moves. After you do that, we can start preparing them. But people like to ask, why aren't you just putting film on them? Or why aren't you just using 1K or 2K rattle can? Or why aren't you using VHT nightshade? None of that stuff is as good as the ways we're gonna go over today. They don't last forever. And like the nightshade likes to purple over time. And most of that stuff will only last for a year. We're trying to show you the absolute best way to do this. There is an argument for high-end film, aka tint, but in my opinion, stickers are for small children. They're not for high-end cars. We have a 2015 Chevy Silverado, and I wanted to show you some of the products we're going to use. This is in PPG's One Choice line. This is the SX103, and they make SXA103. The A just means it's an aerosol. So if you don't want to buy it by the gallon and you prefer an aerosol can, the SXA is what you want. What I like about this is your plastic and raw plastic cleaners. Later in the video, we're going to show you some other uses for this product, but this is a good product to use to clean raw plastics before you start sanding them, and clean your plastics before you paint it. There's some anti-static capabilities built into it as well. You can use a lot of different ways to prep it. Some guys prefer PPG's paste. We're going to use the SEM soap with the gray Scotch-Brite. I think the best way to do it is an 800 grit wet. I don't like dry sanding on my tail lights. I like the clear coat over an 800 grit wet. Now, if you had some damage and you had to drop down to some 400 or 600 to take a scratch out, you could do that. If these were murdered out, like really, really black, you could probably leave them in a 600 grit and you could clear over that. But ultimately, 800 grit wet is the best. We're gonna use a combination of the SEM soap to get the hard to reach areas and the 800 grit to prep this bad boy out. Of course, I like to start with my SX103 to pre-clean the parts before I sand. They could have like a mold release agent on it, and it's always wise to use this alcohol-based cleaner before you start sanding. There's other products you could use, but this is in PPG's Premier lineup in their One Choice line. After that, I like to go in and use an 800 grit wet. Again, I think this is the best foundation for our clear coat, but in all reality, I can't get into every nook and cranny in every little area, in every little corner with the 800 wet. That's why I like to use the gray Scotch-Brite in the sanding paste or any kind of blend prep. Once that's complete, I rinse it off with water and I dry it. Unfortunately, you'll see some shiny marks every once in a while. It is absolutely imperative that we either go back and sand those out with 800 wet or use the blend prep. If you're super careful, you can use a gray Scotch-Brite. Just remember, if you push too hard on it, you can put too coarse of a grit, scratch in it. You want to make sure that all of the shinies are gone and you've attacked all of your edges and corners, and get it clean and dry before you proceed to the masking. Now that my parts are clean and dry, it's time to actually start taping them up. Masking is an important step that a lot of people skip. Most people don't care about getting some overspray on the back side of the part. One, I don't like that. Two, if you have an old used part, even if you've washed it and cleaned it, the masking process will really lock in a lot of the dirt. So it's not just about keeping overspray off of the back side of the part, it's about cleanliness. After it's all masked up, I like to tape it down on my board that's already been blown off and cleaned. Myself, I've been blown off and cleaned. Even the stand that the board is sitting on was blown off before it's in the booth. We clean it yet again with the SX103 because we're done touching it, and then we're gonna do a blow tack. The bad thing about tacking it off is it actually creates static. If you have a static gun, you can use that right here, right now. But not everybody has one. This is what I really like about this SX103, where even some guys that have a static gun, what we'll do is we'll take this stuff and we'll put it in a gun, we'll mist one coat over it after the tacking is done and we're done touching it, and we'll let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. It's pretty much just distilled water and alcohol. It will evaporate and we can go right to our top coats. So this SX103 is not just a cleaner, it's an anti-static device. But here's another thing that's cool about the SX103. Let's say you had a part, a plastic part, that somebody used some 1K rattle can stuff on a grill or a tail light or a headlight. It is very hard to sand all of that stuff off. I could actually take a plastic bin, fill it up, soak the part in it overnight, and it'll take 100% of any 1K rattle can paint off, and it makes it a lot easier to save some parts. So I really like this SX103. Here's the part that most people mess up is what kind of clear to use and what should you add to your clear when you want to tint your taillights. In all reality, you could use any high-end clear in any black base coat or single stage. We choose to use PPG's DCU 2021. It is the best clear for this, and we're not using base. We're using their concept, their single stage line. It's DCC 9300. These are very close chemically, and they're designed to work together. So that's why we're using the 2021 in the concept. It is the best quality for something like this. The problem is how much do you add to it? If you're doing a light tint, I would add 5 to 10%. If you're doing a medium tint, which is what we're doing today, I would use a 10 to 15%. If you're doing dark, I'd go 15 to 20%. I have 10 ounces of clear RTS. If I wanted to add 10%, I would add 1 part single stage, 1 ounce. If I wanted 20%, if I wanted to go dark, I'd add 2 ounces of the single stage. Because we're going that medium, I have 10 ounces RTS, 1 ounce of straight single stage. I'm gonna dump it in there and mix it up. And this is gonna create a translucent color, dare I say a candy effect. Instead of guessing all the time or using disposable cups, you can buy one of these shot glasses, and they come in many different shapes and sizes, but they have milliliters, tablespoons, teaspoons, ounces, and when you're only pouring an ounce of single stage or an ounce of reducer or a couple ounces of hardener, these are way more accurate and you can just clean them out with thinner. So having these in your paint arsenal is very inexpensive and very effective. I always recommend using an adhesion promoter. The problem is with a lot of modern adhesion promoters, they put metallic in them, so I can't use most of the PPG ones. SEM makes this adhesion promoter, but whatever one you use, make sure you follow the technical data sheet to the point. If you put this thing on dripping wet and wait 3 minutes and come in and power on your clear coat, it's probably gonna fail. It'd probably be better if you did not use it. So I know it's boring, but actually read the technical data sheet or the can and follow it to the T. If it says to put 2 coats on and wait X amount of minutes, you want to follow that exactly. After the adhesion promoter is flashed, I want to apply my concoction. The reason why the math is so important is I want to achieve the darkness, the desired darkness that I want in 1 or 2 coats max. I do not want to put multiple 3-4 coats of this on. The bad thing about this is if you get a run, you're done. You may be able to remove the run, but you'll never get out the run color. Even sanding dirt out of this concoction is very difficult. But what about those guys who want a Riddler quality car? Then you can fire 2 coats of straight clear. That's why we're using the 2021 over top of that. And you can do a full wet sand and wheel and you never truly get into your translucent color. So we're nearing another end of our video. Hopefully you guys learned a lot and hopefully you like and subscribe. It really helps our YouTube channel. Now let's talk about the legality of this. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what the local laws are or your state laws are. Please check into it before you do something like this. We typically only use these on show cars and for off-road use only. So this is probably not best for daily drivers. Why do you do this? Why put this on your car? It looks cool, all right? If you want to have a unique vehicle, if you want it to look different, it's a cheap and easy and fun way to make your car stand out. From David and Gary and Chevy at Refinished Media, until the next time.